Episode number 247 of the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. Welcome to the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about why your belief in your own fertility matters and your belief in your body makes a difference. And I will really break that down for you, so be sure to tune in. Welcome to the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. I'm Michelle, a fertility acupuncturist here to provide you with resources on how to create a wholesome approach to your fertility journey. So today I'm going to talk about belief. And I remember when I was reading Amy Rapp's book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. I remember reading that in the beginning she said that she asks all her patients if they believe that they can get pregnant. And I thought that is just so important, such an important step and such an important question to ask because it really matters. And my guess is that most people who are listening to this or who are seeking other ways to improve their body and improve their chances have at least some level of belief, because they wouldn't be doing that if they didn't. So your belief really does matter. It will be your fuel for going on. It will be the thing that gets you to trying new things. And it also creates this level of hope. I mean, belief and hope are really one and the same. But then there's more. Then there is more. So your belief obviously is something that will get you to continue trying new and different things. But there's more than that. Your belief can actually make a difference on your physiology. I've talked about doing visualizations and the power of the mind and how there are studies that have shown that even just visualizing something can really make a difference on your physiology. And the same thing goes for our beliefs. So there is a phenomenon called the placebo effect. And the placebo effect refers to a physiological or psychological change that occurs when an individual receives a placebo treatment. And a placebo treatment means it's basically not a true medicine that is given. So it could be in the form of a pill, or it could be in the form of injected saline. So basically it is like not really a real medicine that is given, but is told to the patient that it is. And they get physiological changes that happen as a result of their belief that this sugar pill or saline, which is basically nothing, is given to them. And it has nothing to do with the treatment, but just the belief itself makes an impact on their body. So it is really fascinating, and it's been widely recognized in various fields of medicine and psychology. So some of the ways that it is believed that placebo effect works is hormonal response. They say that placebos may trigger the release of endorphins, which are the body's natural painkillers, because they have seen that it helps to alleviate pain in many circumstances where the person is being told that they're given painkillers, but they're not, and then their pain decreases. So that is one way. Conditioning, so it could be a result of what's called classical conditioning, where there's an association formed between two stimuli leading to a learned response. So it's something that is conditioned within our minds. Or an expectation. People who have positive expectations about a treatment are more likely to experience a placebo effect. So that is one example of how important it is to believe in your fertility journey, for example, or if you're doing IVF or even with acupuncture. I have seen people being more open, and then some people being really skeptical from the beginning. And even people who are skeptical eventually do better, but it takes longer. It does take longer. Eventually, they open up to the idea, they allow the treatment in, they relax while they're in the treatment, and so on. And you may wonder, why are people doing it if they don't believe in it? They think a lot of times they are given information from their IVF doctors, or they hear about it from somebody else and they said, okay, let me try, but I'm really skeptical. So they come in really skeptical to begin with. Another thing is genetics. So research has suggested that some individuals may genetically be predisposed to respond more favorably to placebos. And interestingly, I have seen when I did hypnotherapy that some people are more easily able to be hypnotized than others. However, when you have, this is what I've seen, if you have a will, there's a way. So it really matters with the individual how much the individual is opening up to whatever that treatment is, or the possibility. So even somebody who's quote unquote difficult to hypnotize, and I've had people like that in my office when I first started doing it in my office, over time, if they have a rapport with me and if they're open to trying, then they open up to it, and then it becomes more effective. So even individuals, I believe, can work on that on their own and open themselves up. And it has an impact on the health conditions. So it does make a difference. They've seen that it's helped with pain management. This is really what the research is showing. Depression, fatigue, allergies, and even IBS, even Parkinson's disease or osteoarthritis of the knee. So it is really amazing to see that. But then I also highly recommend, if you're interested in this, to get You Are the Placebo, which is a book written by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he cites a lot of incredible stories, even when it comes to cancer diagnosis. So that is really fascinating. So there is something called a placebo, but there's also something called a nocebo. So a nocebo happens the opposite way. So when a person's being told in some manner that they are not able to conceive, and if it's not something that is really based in truth, but I've seen that before, based on a true predictability, is that the person will start to believe that about their bodies. And for example, my condition, I'll talk about mine. When I had irregular periods, I was told that I can never have regular periods again. And for many years, I just thought that that was my body, and I really believed that there was no answer other than the birth control pill, which was really not a true answer. It was going to give me a monthly bleed, but it wasn't a true answer. So that was a nocebo. And for many years, I believed it. Believed not that the pill was the cure, but I believed that there was no real answer at the time. And something within me, and this is what I talk about, like that small amount of belief, something within me got me to explore more eventually. It was like this inner intuition, I call it, this inner wisdom, this inner something that calls you to keep searching. And it just knows that there is something out there for you. So I always suggest, definitely important to get checked by a doctor and have a doctor on your team for sure. I do not recommend not having that because it is important, but I also recommend listening to your inner wisdom as well. So having your inner wisdom and your inner guide be a member on your team. So having all of that and being really well-rounded, and also finding, if you feel that inner wisdom tells you that the person that you're working with, whether it's your acupuncturist, doctor, whatever on your team, find somebody who you feel aligned with. And sometimes you don't have to leave the person you're with. You could just go and make other appointments and get other consultations and see if you feel a difference. If anything, it might affirm or confirm that the person you're with is the right person, and that is who you should stay with. So there's no harm in talking to other doctors until you find something that really works with you. So when I talk about your belief in your own fertility journey, it's also important to find a practitioner that believes in your journey. that is huge. It's really important to find somebody who believes in your body. And again, if you have somebody who's a little more numbers gamed and based, and you feel a little unaligned but don't have somebody else, you could still stay and just keep that in mind, in the back of your mind, of really the information that you're being given, but also the information that you have within yourself, or the belief, that inner wisdom. So it's all about balance. There is no black and white. And I don't believe that black and white decisions or answers are ever the right answer, because if you think about black and white, it is if you're choosing one or the other, you're not looking at the yin and yang, which I talk about a lot. The yin and yang is both. It's a combination of the two. And that is always the best way to move forward. So something else that I've learned is that everybody has a different healing mode. Some people really do believe in just Western medicine. And you know what? They end up responding really well to that type of medicine. Some people believe that it's all in the mind, or even just talking to a psychotherapist that's really, really powerful and very aligned with them has healing potential and helps them in so many ways. And then some people believe that it's all in your digestion and nutrition, and if you just changed your diet, it can make a difference. And not that they don't, but some people just tend to believe more in whatever that is, and that belief by itself breathes life into whatever it is you're choosing to do. So that's important too. And that's where I say, do something that aligns with you, that you feel you will be on board with. And that will also make a difference in your outcome. Basically, belief is at the center of every healing journey, and not just for the outcome, but it also drives your efforts. Drives the efforts that a person will take in order to accomplish their health goals, because they believe these efforts will help. So knowing that your belief is not just something that is random, and not just something that is this abstract idea, that your belief matters and it makes a difference and it can impact your physiology. So it is really important to know that, and then also to channel that belief in a way that's intentional. Sometimes we don't question our beliefs. And I think it's important sometimes to look into, what is it that I'm putting my belief into? Is it something that is serving me? Is it something that is not serving me? Sometimes we can put our belief in something that is not helping us at all. And it's important to question those. And another thing is, we identify with our beliefs as well. And beliefs should not be a static thing. When you're younger, you can believe that you can't do anything without your mom, right? Or eventually that will shift and change. If you kept believing that, then how are you going to grow? Eventually you're going to realize that I can do it by myself. And yes, when you're younger, you do need your parents to do things. So that is a real, true belief. So you need that at a certain time of your life, but those beliefs can shift. So if you have believed something for many years that was not really helping you, or is what I call limiting belief, and we've all heard about that, then it can limit you basically to your own personal growth. So that's why I always suggest to journal and to become more mindful when you do a mindful practice. And mindfulness is not always just meditation. It's just becoming aware of your internal terrain, like your internal workings and the thoughts that come up. And when you journal, it makes it more apparent. You get to see and really understand your inner workings and what goes on behind the scenes. So a lot of times we are too distracted by life to even notice the things that we believe and the things that keep coming up over and over again. And most of the time, I know this is going to sound shocking, but most of the time, these beliefs are not based in truth, because there is no one solid truth in life. There are many truths, plural, and you can choose and concoct your own cocktail of truths that you believe in. But I highly recommend use those and pick those that will empower you on your journey. So believing in your body's ability to be resilient. I could have also used my history. For 13 years, I had irregular periods. For 13 years, I went to doctor upon doctor that all told me the same thing, that there was no other option for me. I could have said, my past is my past, that's reality for me, and that's just the way it is. But something within me said, something's got to change, and I believe that there is a possibility. So I believed in my potential, and that is something that I think everybody should believe in their own potential, because when you believe in your potential, you will be open to other opportunities that can come up that you have not yet explored or discovered before. So you're not basing your future on your past. You're allowing for some opening or some potential for something new that you know deep inside probably exists. So that is something that is important to at least address or pay attention to, become aware of. And you could just create that as a little practice of becoming aware of what is going on in your mind. And here are a couple of things that you can do just on a daily basis. Once you start to become more aware, is you can renew your belief, the belief that you have in your body, renew that on a daily basis, because things will come up that are going to make you question your body's ability to conceive. So if you make it a practice every single day to renew that belief, whether it's by saying it, and here's another thing, you can say it and not fully believe it, but don't let that discourage you from saying it anyway. So saying it daily to yourself that you believe in your body until you really do believe in your body. So that's one of the things, is really renewing. It's almost like renewing your own vows to yourself, to your own belief, to your own faith in your body. So that's one of the things you can do. And then you can also nurture your well-being, because when you have personal energy and you are nurturing and filling your own cup, then you are able to have energy to shift your beliefs. Sometimes when we are so defeated and we're so reactive to just our circumstances, which is very normal, sometimes a lot of things get thrown at us, we don't have personal energy to really shift things within ourselves. So it's important to fill your cup in however way you can. Improve your joy. I always say, like, fill that joy cup. Do something that makes you happy, that you have put on hold since before this journey started. Those are things that you must do. It's important. It is important. It's fuel for your journey. So when you're able to do that, you're able to shift and renew things, because when you're too depleted personally, you just don't have the energy to do anything, really. So another thing is, affirmations, writing things down as if they already occurred. And whatever it is that you want to believe in your body, say that as if it already happened, as if you already believe it. So I believe in my body's ability. I know that my body is able to heal. I know that my period is able to regulate. I know that my body will ovulate. Or is ovulating. It's better to say it as if it already occurred. So you're basically writing it down. When you write it down, you inscript it in your mind, in your subconscious mind. And writing is a super powerful way to make anything happen. Actually, there have been studies on that as well, where when you write something down, you're more likely, I believe it was 40% more likely for it to actually occur than if you don't write it at all. So when we set our intention and really focus our intention in a space that we want, that has power. So this episode, just consider this to be a reminder that your thoughts, your beliefs, and the way you intend them has power. It matters, and it will make a difference in your life. And studies are now proving that. They're proving it with visualization. They're proving it with writing things down. So why not use it? Why not harness the potential that you already have? And I feel very passionate about that, because we walk around pretending that we're so much less powerful than we really are. We got to take that power. We got to own it. And it's yours. It's yours to own. And this is a reminder to do that. So another thing that will help feed that joy and also fill the joy cup is creating a gratitude practice. And practice, you can either write it down or you could just acknowledge your wins. You can acknowledge every little win from your body. So if something happened and you're getting great news from the doctor, or that your menstrual cycle is improved for this month, or any little thing, or you feel more energy today, all of those things, all those little wins, acknowledge them and talk about them. Say it out loud, even if you're by yourself, or write it down. Like, wow, this is what happened today. I feel so much better. I had a really good sleep last night. I feel more energized. I feel happy. Whatever those wins are. Or I ovulated. I know I ovulated. I did my BBT. My temperature is better. Whatever. Any little win, just give it a little platform and celebrate it. Celebrate those wins. So I hope this reminded you just how powerful you really are. And I want you to own that power. Own the power that you have been given. Utilize it, because why not? We all have that ability, and it's there to be taken. So the placebo effect is real. Your belief in your body makes a difference. And I am wishing you all the best baby dust there is. I am sending you all the love, and thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and have a beautiful day. So that concludes today's episode. You can find all of the links mentioned on the episode notes. If you're enjoying these episodes, please take a moment to share and leave a review. Reviews mean everything to podcasters, and I really enjoy hearing from my listeners. You can also find me on my website at www.thewholesomelotus.com, or email me at info@thewholesomelotus.com. I love hearing from my listeners. If you're interested and want updates as well as a free ebook on my top 10 fertility boosting habits, you can visit my fertility page on www.thewholesomelotus.com. I thank you so much for listening in, and hope that you have a beautiful day.